reaction, or do you think that you could beat J.D. Vance in a head-to-head race for president, as polling suggests, in 2028?
Listen, these polls, like 3 years out, are, they are what they are. But let the record show, I would stomp him.
Thank you, Congresswoman.
So that was AOC's reaction to a poll conducted by The Argument and Verasight. In a hypothetical matchup for the 2028 presidential election, AOC would defeat J.D. Vance 51% to 49%. So I'll say it, he's giving off Kamala Harris vibes. Now, Erica Kirk, widow of Charlie Kirk and CEO of Turning Point USA, just announced she's endorsing Vance for 2028. Let's watch.
We are going to get my husband's friend, J.D. Vance, elected for 48 and the most resounding way possible.
Now, Turning Point USA does outreach to young voters who historically don't vote in large numbers, so an organization that can mobilize the youth vote is invaluable. She endorsed Vance at TPUSA's big conference this past week, America Fest or AmFest. But not all the attendees support a Vance candidacy. Let's watch.
Personally, I don't know if I'm the guy for J.D. Vance. I'm more of a Vivek Ramaswamy kind of guy myself.
I don't think we should necessarily focus on that just yet, but I do agree with her. He's a good candidate. We should keep him focused on Trump's presidency right now.
His entire backstory, it seems very contrived. I think he says things to try and appeal to certain people, and there's a certain level of fakeness there to J.D. Vance.
Now, my view is that Vance trying to lock down the nomination is so reminiscent of Kamala Harris trying to cow her competition and prevent them from even entering the Democrat Party sweepstakes in 2024 after Biden dropped out. Now, that problem could be facing Republicans now because it isn't just AOC who could be a candidate in 2028. Now, she's a radical progressive, yet she stomped all over Vance in the poll. That should give us pause. What does that tell us about Vance's likability and charisma, or lack thereof? And there are moderate Democrats with strong likability and charisma who could run in 2028. Andy Beshear, governor of Kentucky. Gretchen Whitmer, governor of Michigan. Now, their approval ratings are 68% and 63% among their own state voters, and they're moderates, unlike AOC. Now, Tucker Carlson spoke at AmFest. I posted a video about that a few days ago. In his speech, he suggested that Vance is the only person currently in existence who believes in America first besides Donald Trump, and therefore he deserves the nomination. I mean, it's a bizarre assertion from start to finish. Then he went on to say some voters don't want Vance to get the nomination because he's America first, which doesn't make any sense since he's referring to Republican voters at AmFest who are presumably all America first. But let's watch.
There are people who are mad at J.D. Vance, and they're stirring up a lot of this in order to make sure he doesn't get the nomination. So this is true. So this raises the obvious question, which is, why are they mad at J.D. Vance? Such a nice guy, which he is. They're mad at J.D. Vance because he is the one person, and things could change, of course, but right now, who really kind of buys the core idea of the Trump coalition. Now, what is that idea? Ladies and gentlemen, anyone know? Anyone know? America first.
Could be, but maybe some voters just find that J.D. Vance lacks charisma and believe he can't win. Okay, maybe that's why they don't support him. Republicans want to keep the White House. If Carlson wants to assign an ulterior motive for why J.D. Vance is disliked by some voters, he can do that. But in my view, Vance is not charismatic. Now, Democrats learned that lesson with Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris, neither of whom has any charisma. So, even if it were true that J.D. Vance is the only candidate in existence who believes in America first besides Donald Trump, that sounds like an argument for administrative efficiency, not an election. Now, Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris were selected by their party on that type of reasoning. Now, I recall Oprah at that time saying about Hillary Clinton, you don't have to like her to vote for her. Okay, that's not a ringing endorsement. And it tells us a lot coming from Oprah, who understands what charisma is. Now, Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris both lack charisma, and they both ran against Donald Trump, who is unusually charismatic and qualified. He's a brilliant person. At AmFest, Carlson accused voters who don't want J.D. Vance to get the nomination of having an ulterior motive. If you don't like J.D. Vance, you have an ulterior motive. I mean, voters want the most charismatic and qualified candidate to get the nomination because that type of candidate is our best chance to win. Now, that's what makes sense to me. Now, in 2028, the Democrats will field numerous candidates, many of whom have a combination of charisma and qualifications. And likability is always important for political candidates. It's not just about whether they believe in America first, because ideology alone cannot carry them over the finish line. And when it comes to charisma, they either have it or they don't. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, leave a like and don't forget to subscribe.